Welcome back.
Welcome.
All right, we'll move right along to our next subject. Loren Tepper, welcome to the show, Loren.
Hey, Loren.
You know what? I'm so excited. Welcome. Oh, I'll say welcome. I'm glad you guys had me. But you know what?
What?
I told. It's so great how Judy you just tell her, Judy, I've missed not being on, and instantaneously she finds room. She deserves all the credit. And you know, I want to tell this because you guys probably didn't do this last week, and I did it on the news, but it was Judy's birthday last week.
Yes.
And it, you know, we had this little shindig for Dan, but it was really Judy deserved it as well. And any of you, I say this all the time, you Alpina soccer fans, that is the 21-year-old soccer mini driving mom right there. I tease her all the time.
I hear her laughing.
Yeah, we hear her.
You hear that? Yeah,
She loves it.
She loves it. She loves every bit of it. Well, hey, you know what, Dan? We're here to talk about Goblin Sports.
You bet we are.
Last week was our last home game of the year. It's kind of been a really quick.
Yeah,
I
really,
mean, has
really
it
has,
from the
really.
day? I mean, bids were.
No,
due.
we did 13 games. Did we not? 13.
We did.
Or
We
14
did the
games.
scrimmage game, and then no, we just did the scrimmage game.
There's an exhibition game, wasn't there?
That was
it.
That was Batesville, and then
thought
we
we
went
did.
10,
Okay.
and this will be the 11th game of
Okay.
the year. But you know, you think about when the bids were due back on the 4th of July, and then we got the contract at the end of the month, and we 3 weeks later we were in the broadcast booth, and Coach Tommy Ty said, "Man, it'll be fast," and he goes, "Before you know it's over." And I kind of thought, it won't go that quick. It's unbelievable how fast Goblin football has gone. And just yesterday, we were at the Spook House, meeting with Coach Staller, and Coach Young, and going over some things that we've got planned for basketball. And we got some really good things planned for basketball, just like we did with football. We put up the goal cams, which was a really big hit. If you saw some of our broadcast things that we were trying to improve, we put up a clock, which was a big deal. That was a huge input. We did that like week 2 or week 3. We talked about putting the clock up. We did that, and then the goal cams went up, which is a really, really nice feature that we had. And boy, when we showed that first thing to Coach Tice, he was like, "Oh, I love that shot." And then this week we had some really good sideline. Joe Don and them did some great sideline work camera that we had. And then for basketball, we were over yesterday, as I said, to the Spook House, and we're going to put up some cameras up on the rims, the basketball goals, so you can have a free throw, so you can see them shooting and doing some other things. So we're pretty excited.
Great things in plan.
We got some really good. We're trying to improve the production.
You bet.
Of Goblin Sports.
You've set a precedence now with the football. So hey, there you go.
One thing you can't do is you can't rest on your laurels from the last season. And one thing that we've always done here, and if I'm going to toot a horn, I guess we might as well toot my own. But we've done that. We tried to improve every year that we've done. If you're going to do an event or something like that, you just can't go out there with one camera and do it. You have to give the graphics. You have to do everything. People are used to that, and we only can do what we can do on a hometown level, and I think we're doing pretty good with it.
When this is over, this football season, and I know how everything else works around here, we'll sit in group, myself, you, Ian, Gil, we'll talk about some production things we need to change, what we want to improve on. The replays have been phenomenal with the different angle shots that we've been able to get. And next year we'll make an improvement. I mean, it's been a real deal, and we went into this, and I shared this with Dan when we got the contract. I was a little nervous. I mean, I had never done play-by-play before. I mean, never. Had never even gotten in the broadcast booth in that situation. Had been a color guy, but never been a play-by-play guy.
But you fell into it pretty easily.
I have, you gave me some pointers about not getting too emotional, and I try not to, except if it's a big play. I probably, if you're in the booth next to us.
Well, the reason we don't want you to get emotional is because we don't want to change the audio pots on the mixer. Because it's
yeah, but it's been a learning experience and a learning curve for me, and I'm still learning. And I give some credit to Jim Fitzgerald and Phil Carey over at the radio station. They gave me some pointers about what to do, how to do it, what to do, and I spent some time really kind of I got to use it as an excuse to my wife, say, I really need to watch that football game because I want to figure out how this commentator. My wife looked at me and said, "Yeah, right." But I did.
We want to also mention that the mix that you and Jim have together. I mean, he's he's more of a stable factor in the fact that you're out there doing the play-by-play, and then when he comes in, he's given some little insight on what's going on too. So,
and the coaches show has been good. Next week will be our last show of the coaches show. We'll do with Coach Tommy Tice after the Huntsville game, and this is a big week. They need to win, finish the season 500. We talked about this week on the coaches show with Coach Tice, talking about building momentum towards next year, looking at some positives. I know we were eliminated last week from playoffs, but had we won last week, we talked about what we were going to be planning and where we were going to be going and what we were going to be doing if we were going to be playing the following week. But since that's not happening, they need to step up and build on for next year. And I think Coach Tice has really got a good game plan, a good plan of what's going on. And
one thing I like about Coach Tice, after we have a game and we lose, I mean, I'm down. Everyone's down about that because I know you feel like not as many people are going to watch the production. But when he comes in to do the coaches show, I mean, he's the same every week, whether it's a win or lose. He might be up a little bit more when there's a win, but when there's a loss, he comes in. I don't know if he memorizes these positive quotes or whatever, but a coach actually, in order to motivate that age group, if there's a negative situation, they're going to go down. And a coach is there to bring them up all the time, keep them at a certain level. It's amazing to hear him during the coach's show to offer all that positive.
And during
points.
The coach show, I've been really impressed with the ability of him to admit when he's made a wrong choice, and do things where he said, "I wish I'd have took the advice of my assistant coach. I made that decision to do something different instead of what my advice of my coaches had said." I mean, he's been very candid with the coach's show, and I think one of the other things that we are going to do, which has not been done with Goblin Sports, is we will have a coach's show for basketball. We were meeting with Stoller.
And that's one thing we wanted to add because it's never been done before.
We'll be doing a coach's show with both the boys coach and the girls coach for that, and we'll be excited. And as Dan mentioned in your opening, we're looking at soccer. Coach Pratt has promised us, and I'm putting him on TV. I want to put him on the spot here, but Coach Pratt promised us when we looked at it and said we would consider doing it, that he would get us somebody that knew something other than me saying, "Well, the midfielder kicked it to the right corner, and they shot, and it was a goal." I mean, I need more insight than that. I mean, and Coach Pratt promised us, and he said he had somebody in mind that he's already talked to that will help us with, and I don't know who it is. And so we're going to be doing that. And for basketball, Jim Johnson's been my color guy. For basketball, we're kind of rotating this. This is kind of a interesting type thing. We'll use a lot of different various people come in and do some guest
doing
shots.
Play-by-play for basketball is not the same as football.
Right.
There's a lot of dead time in football as versus basketball where they're just going up and down the court all the time. So basically, there's really not a whole lot of room for a color person.
No.
Yeah.
And we'll use that, and we're looking forward to it. We've got some technical issues is probably the right word that we need to do over in the Spook House to get ready for our productions. We've got some things we need to get into the Spook House, and we were over there. Part of what we were doing yesterday was over there doing that, and I was over there this morning getting some measurements, some things that we need to do to get ready for it. I know the first home game is November 23rd. Against Rogers Heritage comes to town. I don't know if we're going to be ready by then. We have a lot of work to do on the production side for basketball.
We'll get there.
We're going to get there.
Just give me a day and we'll get there.
We'll get there. Give you a day. I could tell you this for sure, like Coach Stoller said with them working over there by the gymnasium. It'll be gone by the Lyndall Thomas Classic and that'll be here before we know it. Matter of fact, I'm going to a meeting for that at noon today to go meet on that subject. But basketball season and Goblin Sports, and it's been great. We've really had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, we want to also mention our thanks to all the sponsors that have helped us. It's one thing to do Goblin Sports, and another production company had it for so many years, and then they made the switch. And it's hard for some advertisers to put their faith and trust in another production company. To follow it, but we do appreciate those ones that stay with us. And we
also want to put out, we've broadened our horizons. I mean, we've included the cheerleaders. We're doing player profiles with cheerleaders. We've done the band this year, which is something that has not been done, where we're profiling the band and the marching band when they're doing their halftime show and putting their players and their faces and their profiles. So we've really tried to include
a big plus,
all of Goblin's athletics, which just does not just mean football or basketball. It means everything that goes with it.
Yeah.
So
good deal.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
That's what you're the upfront guy, so we can make all the mistakes we want to behind the scenes.
I have to give you guys a lot of credit. The instant replay thing has been phenomenal. It really has, and I know that Gil and Ian and you have worked really, really hard at it. And my kids have been the camera guys. I mean,
we want to
I give them a lot of credit. They're 14 out there running the camera, and really you made reference to this a little bit about. You've had some people in the past that hadn't learned, and at 14 and at 18, they've really tried. I mean, they're still learning. I mean, don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but they've really come a long way trying to get it right. And
after the first game, I started looking at some of the camera work, and I go, wow, now we've got something here. So
and they're working at it, and they're trying to get the right angle and the right shots, and it's not easy for them, too, because them road games, we're not getting home till 1:30, 2 o'clock. This is the closest road game we got this week.
And one thing I've realized that you have to feed them. You have to feed them.
Yeah,
maybe 2 or 3 times while we're there.
Oh, man, and they'll eat you out of house and home, too, won't they? I mean, they make their way around.
Can we work a deal out next year that whatever I pay them, they have to buy their own food out of that?
We'll do something different.
All right. Last game of the season is Huntsville's this Friday, and then we're going to start the regular season of Goblin basketball, the 20.
Well, that's kind of where we're up in the air yet. We still talked about it. First home game is the 23rd. I don't know if we'll be all of our stuff because of a lot of the technical stuff that we got to get done in the Spook House. We'd love to shoot for the 23rd. I don't think I don't want to say it's unrealistic, but I think it's pushing us to try to get some things done. I will say this: we will be probably up and running before. They don't have a lot of home games between now and the Lyndall Thomas Classic. There's that one. There's the 30th, and then the. I think our real marching goal is I think we had realistically shot at December 14th, which was the Berryville game. Is what we really had shot at. Because of the
if we're ready before, we'll do some.
Right, if we're ready beforehand. But we've got a lot of work as we found out yesterday when we were over there.
Well, Loren, it's good to have you on board for the basketball, and we'll just keep on trucking down the road.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we have Tamsyn Simon and talking about a craft show. Do you know anything about this craft show?
What I've read on Facebook. So we'll find out more with Tamsyn.
There she goes.